Welcome to this video. We are going to look at the Python API and more modules. So this means we are going to go on Python standard library and look at the documentation, learn how to read the documentation and apply it. And we're going to look at many examples. Here I am on the python.org website, and we are going to have a look at the modules provided by Python. So let's go to the documentation section under Python 3.x docs. And here you will find a library reference. In the library reference, we have a list of all the Python modules. So everything in the Python standard library is here. For instance, we can find the math module, which is right here. And if we go inside it, we have all the functions and constants defined in the math module. For instance, here we have the factorial function, which we saw in the last video. And we can see that it has one parameter called x, and it says returns x factorial, and it also tells us which error it raises, if x is not an integer or it is negative. If we scroll down, we can see that the trigonometric functions are here. So the sine and the cosine are here. If we scroll down even further, we have the mathematical constant pi, and so on. Now you can dig through all of these to find some very interesting things. Here is an interesting module. We have the shell utilities, and there's a bunch of functions in here for moving files around, changing permissions, things like that. Let's see how we can use one of these. Let's try out the copy file function. So first we'll have to import the shutil module and then call the copy file. Now the copy file takes a source file and a destination. So if we go to our terminal and we see that we want to have a file to copy, so I'm just going to say echo hello world. I'm going to dump that in the file called hello. And if I print the file hello to the screen, you can see that it contains hello. So let's just open that in Atom. You can see that this file just contains hello world. It's called hello. Now if we go to our script and we import shutil, then in the shutil module, we should have a copy file function. Let's copy our file called hello, and let's copy it into a file called test. And let's run this, and it said that it ran. So now let's go back and print everything out. You can see that now we have a new file called test. And let's open it up in Atom to see what's in there, and it contains hello world, as we expect. Perfect. Now let's go back and have a look at some other interesting modules. So one particular module that's quite interesting is the HTTP module, which is very large, and as you can see, contains sub-modules. So we have http.server, http.client, .cookies, cookie jar. Let's click on the server, for instance. And here are a bunch of functions which allow you to host a server. And if we scroll all the way down, sometimes you'll see that Python even gives you code snippets or code examples on how to use some of their functions. So here you can see that this is a very simple server startup. So let's copy this code and paste it in our editor and see if it works. So you can see they're importing be an HTTP server, a socket server. They're choosing a port. Then they are starting TCP server using the port and the handler they create above. And it looks like they're running the server daemon forever. So if we run this, you can see that it has started to run and that it is still running. So if you press Control-C, then we can exit it. But let's go and see what's going on at our port 8000. So if we go back to our browser, open a new tab and say localhost at 8000, we can see that the default mode is just displaying what's going on in our directory. So here is the script we are writing. Here's the file we created, the test file. The default is to download them. But this just gives you an idea of the different kinds of things you can find and use in the Python API. There are a whole whack of things, from sending emails to opening files to doing just about whatever you can imagine. So play around and have some fun digging through the Python documentation. There is always something new to be found. In this video, we explored the Python API. In the next video, we are going to learn how to create our own modules. See you then.